Now, this recipe, it just won't cut it. I need to do some rethinking. So, let's do it. First of all, we need to add a new recipe. It does work, however I have noticed that there already is a recipe to get these, which is through red mushrooms and brown mushrooms. I'm just thinking if there is a way to get those. It did not appear so, however I think I know what I'm going to use these seeds for. And that way we get a way to have red mushroom crafted as well as brown mushroom crafted. So let's go back into the game, reload, and let's see. And as you can see, red mushroom as well as brown mushroom is now craftable. And we can actually even go ahead and check that. Like so. Easily. Now, to get the other variants, we need to do hunting, which is done with, well, Soulfire Fan, which is doable for us because we do have Soul Sand, which is also craftable rather simply by Spirit Fire. You may be asking how does that connect to redstone, and that I can show you right now by changing the redstone recipe into create compacting, and instead of flint I'm going to write something else here. And of course here redstone. Redstone, yes indeed. However, what is it going to be that I'm going to write here? It's going to be, let me remember how it's actually called. This. Nether wart block. Nether wart block. And actually, I didn't want it to be a redstone, I wanted it to be create rose quartz. Let me check. Rose quartz indeed. Rose quartz. There we go. Let's reload and see for ourselves again. And as you can see, this recipe is now fully working. From 4 netherite blocks, you are going to get rose quartz, which is going to be the main method of us obtaining redstone. Because I will just add another recipe to grind rose quartz into redstone dust, which we can do quite easily. Now I just copied or duplicated one of my milling recipes from Create, and instead of grinding down immersive engineering slag gravel, we are just going to grind down, well, create rose quartz. And get item, Minecraft, redstone. Could be right, and instead of 1, I would like 2. That should be working just fine. So now as you can see, you can get redstone from rose quartz, and rose quartz, apart from normal crafting, can be created from compacting nether wart. Which, I mean, you can even get, if you really wanted to, because I do believe the wart blocks are craftable from nether wart as well, so if you obtained nether wart, which might be possible, yeah, later on with things like blood infuser, or maybe crusher or crushing wheels themselves later on, you could be able to, instead of growing the crimson fungi, you could be able to just grow nether warts themselves for redstone purposes, which is completely fine. However, the idea is that 2 nether wart blocks give you 1 redstone in general. And I do not think that this is necessarily an annoying recipe to follow. You just basically compact 4 wart blocks into rose quartz and then grind it down to get redstone dust. I think that's actually quite easy compared to what we had before. And for Shroomlight I'm going to do something similar. Because when you grind down Shroomlight with either millstone or the crushing wheels, you're now going to get to glowstone dust. I was thinking one would suffice if you automated the growth of the fungi itself or themselves. However, I feel like getting 2 from a block seems about right. And here we can see it in action. Chromelight, glowstone dust. However, that's not all that I want to make. Real sapling. Because back in the game, I still want to unlock integrated dynamics in some way. So, apart from me writing it the incorrect place, we should be able to do with Minecraft warped us. And with Spiritfire we should be able to get mineral sapling, which is going to unlock us a lot in integrated dynamics. But I don't want it to unlock all of it. And like so, we will in future get our mineral sapling. Again, it might be a little bit difficult to get there from the beginning, but in all seriousness, you could have this done in 2 minutes, easily. But that is not all that I wanted to do with the recipes just yet. I want to add an alternative for gunpowder as well, which is going to be through occultism crushing recipes. And instead of silver, which is the recipe I, well, basically took the structure from, we are going to be using something different. We are going to, first of all, rename this to item, because we don't want it to take basically an array of items. We want only one item to take, which is going to be Minecraft charcoal. And the output is going to be Minecraft gunpowder. And crushing time 200 should be fine, and no crushing multiplier true. I do believe that means that it would double the output, which we do not need. So, this should be fine. And in game, as we can see, Crusher Spirit from Occultism is now able to make gunpowder from charcoal, which I think is pretty neat and should be sufficient. The Crusher Spirit itself is not that difficult to make if you get the Dictionary of Spirits, which is a guide from the mod Occultism itself. You will see that it's just using the white chalk on the ground on a couple of places and summoning what you need. And I will actually be showing that in a future. And just to unlock the branch of Evilcraft, I have added the Dark Power Gem craftable from charcoal and rotten flesh in alloy kiln. Except it's going to take you an entire coal to burn before it gives you the power gem itself. And after a few adjustments to the advancement tree, this is how it currently looks like. I don't know, I certainly hope that I have written everything as it should be, and that I have all of the correct functions to give rewards in place. I cannot be 100% certain, but it feels like it should. Well, at least until I get to the rewards themselves and get to test it. And just to showcase how such an achievement or advancement looks like, pretty simple. This is basically the main body that tells it how it's going to look like in the advancement tree. You can just easily find that on Wikipedia. And then in description, I have the what you get or what you have to give and what the reward is going to be. These things behind the paragraph symbol. This just basically means what color and what format it's going to be. F, I do believe, is that it's going to be white color, and O, I believe, is that it's going to be italics. This is green, and this is also italics. This, the icon item, what is going to be displayed. This is the inventory changed trigger, which means that it will look for mineral sapling in your inventory with minimum of 1, and as a reward, it triggers the mineral function, which is down here. That gives you the items themselves, and the parent is warped, which is here, specifically here. It's the warped achievement. It's just a branching tree, which you can see directly in the game when I move back, and yeah, this is what I was talking about. This was the specific achievement, and this is what it is dependent on. This recipe that I've added is mainly to represent a feature of how to work with fluids specifically. This fluid is a little bit broken because I'm using still beta versions of mods as well as beta versions of Forge itself. And how it looks like in the code actually is like so. You get the create compacting recipe and ingredients, you have Minecraft rotten flesh, and as a result, instead of an item, you get fluid, which is the Evilcraft blood. You can find that easily in the J. It's basically whenever you see that square of liquid, that's what fluid is. And you can add amount in millibuckets, which basically in thousands of a whole bucket gives you the output. Or you can put all of that into the input as well, into the ingredients. It really doesn't matter. This is just how you format with liquids. So currently I'm just working on transmuting some of the different mushrooms into what I need. It should be relatively easy, unless I mess it up like this. This thing, it gives me blindness. I never really worked with this, I just know that it is in the game for quite a while. They are a little bit glitchy, which I do believe is going to be fixed on higher versions of Forge. I will eventually update it in case I'm about to release it. And, oh, I already have them. Great. So, growth of the nether and invasive species. Great, 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 great. So as we can see, we get both of them. And now, if I throw this one in here, I just get mineral saplings. As so. Beautiful. So we get all that we need from this. And as I said, as I mentioned, it really takes just 2 minutes and you are done with it. You don't need to do anything super fancy. And by then, you can just use it for whatever crafting or whatever progress you need. And it looks like we are going to be building some fungi farms. And of course, some normal sapling farms. I apologize if this particular video was more of coding than gameplay, but sometimes it is just a little bit more coding than gameplay. It's just a lot of interesting features that you can do even without the knowledge of mods. You can still, just by the mod itself, but just by having that mod in your mod pack, you can still add new recipes into it. And with just a knowledge of normal Minecraft commands, you can run functions, and actually you can add mechanics that way instead of by using mods. It's just really easy to trigger a Minecraft function with an advancement like this. Just by having an item in your inventory, just by mining a block, just by, I don't know, even standing in a specific biome, you can easily trigger function. But that's not what this series is about. Next time, I'm definitely going to do more automation, and the reason why this isn't running, it was just a little too effective, and yeah, I don't have any place to put this anymore. But goodbye for now. This is going to be all from me.